This episode is brought to you by Ariston Specialties in Bloomfield, Connecticut, makers of amazing olive oils and other Greek delights. Check them out online at aristonspecialties.com. That's Ariston, Ariston, specialties.com. I'm Faith Middleton here with our podcast. This time, the Food Schmooze Party explores the foods we had on our travels. Tastes we'll never forget because that's how good they were. Our new show is now located at faithmiddleton.com. The All-Stars are here. Chris Pressberry of Metro Bees in Simsbury, Connecticut. Carl Franklin in Quaker Hill. Mark Raymond in Old Wethersfield. And Joanne Church in New London. And, of course, our mascot, my dog, Bonbon, right here at my feet, newly groomed, and I'm telling you, he looks like one handsome devil.
Hi, Bonbon.
Wow.
Hi, Faith.
Okay, hi, hey. It's because we take chances when we travel. I mean, is it that? And we eat new things, and that's how you stumble on something extraordinary? Or do we pick our destinations because we can't get enough of a certain dish, a certain taste? And I wonder, where do those memorable meals get filed in our brains so that they become this permanent, remembered thing years, maybe even decades later? So, hey, everybody, Chris, give me one of your most treasured meals or tastes.
All right, this is one of my top three, and it's funny because these are really, it's not whole meals. These are individual dishes, individual moments in time. And this one is, it's going back a few years, and my father and I went to Paris on a little visit. It was just him and I, and it was the first time it was just him and I going, and we went in the afternoon to this little bistro that had oysters, and we sat there, I'm going to say, for about an hour and a half, eating oysters as they as the Frenchman on the other side of the bar just shucked them and kept bringing them to us. And
wow.
I don't know if it was really the oysters or if it was just me and my dad sitting in his home city. You know, it's so many different things because I've eaten oysters before and I've eaten great oysters before. But for some reason, I can still taste the brininess and I can still taste the mignonette that we poured over the top. It's just like so here in my head, and it seems to me there's never going to be another time that's beaten by that. Even if I had the best oyster on the planet right now, it would never be better than that.
Let me ask you, is that those Boulogne oysters? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, It was one of them. I mean, we had an assortment, but again, it's this magic thing that happens when we are with people we love. We're in a beautiful setting.
Right.
We're relaxed. It's usually vacation. We're relaxed, right? And something happens where everything comes together. And like I said, it's just etched in my head. And I can still bring up that taste. I can literally right now sitting here taste those oysters and sitting at that zinc bar and, the just magic moment.
You know what you're reminding me of? One time I had Jane and Michael Stern on the show. They did the book Road Food and were food columnists for Gourmet Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And they're good friends. And so they were on the show, and they said that was their suspicion. They were also food reviewers, restaurant reviewers for the Hartford Courant's Northeast magazine back in the day. And they used to get these letters that would be so ruthless. People would be raging mad at them because they'd given poor grades to a particular restaurant. And it took them a while to figure it out, but then it was just what you described, Chris.
Yeah.
People had loved the place, the time, the food, who they were with. And if a restaurant reviewer came in and knocked this place, boy, were they mad.
Yeah, it's like a magic moment, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, let's go down to you. What's your most memorable taste, would you say?
Oh, gosh. Well, there's so many from around the world, but I'm going to go with one that I share with everybody, and that is in Rome, in the Jewish ghetto.
Oh,
It's a neighborhood that anybody ever tells me they're going to, I tell them, okay, you're going to Rome, you got to go to the Jewish ghetto. And they can always look at you like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, no, it's a neighborhood. It's
not a ghetto.
It's right next to the synagogue, and it's a neighborhood that has just tons of great restaurants. And I don't care which one you go to. You can pick any one. And they all make these amazing artichokes that are fried and crispy and delicious. And they all make the linguine clams. It's not it's pasta with clams with a little baby manila clams.
I know.
Yeah.
And I have gone there no less than 5 times. And everybody that goes to Rome that I hear is going to Rome, I always send them to that neighborhood to eat because I think that food is just absolutely out of this world. And you want to have a great memory of Rome, that's one of the places you want to go to.
Wow. I have this is just a quick story. I have a friend who's Italian and remembers his grandmother making pasta and sauce with periwinkles in it.
Wow.
Really? Periwinkles. They went out to the beach, little snails, and they took periwinkles and put them in there. And he thought that was the coolest thing. Like, none of my ever friends.
Oh, I bet they were delicious.
None of my other friends eat periwinkles in their spaghetti or whatever. And then he found out because that they were poor. And that was just the meat that was available.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It was available on the seashore.
Yeah. Why doesn't the artichokes, why don't they make that like that in the United States? Because when we tried them in Rome, in the same restaurant, we're like, well, why don't we have these?
Right.
So good.
I have yet to see them in the U.S. And the way they cook them, it's like they take the artichoke and they smash it down and the leaves curl up.
Yes.
So the presentation is spectacular and you eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's no pieces that you peel off or cut off.
Oh, no.
Hey, can I
amazing.
jump in on this and maybe give a theory? Because when I was in Italy, I used to lead these food trips to different countries, and so we went to Italy a bunch of times. But one of the times we went there, I convinced this vineyard owner who had this farm attached to give me the seeds of various vegetables because I'd never had vegetables taste that way in my entire life. It's just what you're all describing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he gave them to me, and I came back and I planted them here. Nothing. I mean, things grew, but it was like, what is this? Is this like this? So I think it's the water, their water, how their sun does its thing, what's in their soil. You know, it's this whole bunch of things that makes their food, what's in their olive oil that makes that taste the way it does. Okay, let me jump to Carl, even though he's drinking wine, and I don't know if he's going to be able to talk right now.
Oh, come on now.
It's Carl.
By the way, I brought this bottle home from Merrill restaurant. I'm in New Orleans.
All right.
We went to Merrill last night, which is Emeril Lagasse's daughter's name. I just learned.
Oh.
And this is a Chilean wine. It's a Vino de Carignan from Chile. And it's 2017, and it's really delicious. And it was pretty affordable, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Good one.
so you're in New Orleans right now.
Yes.
And is it normally in Quaker Hill? You are in Connecticut. So
Yes.
was there anything you had on this trip so far that where you say, this will go down as one of the best things I've ever eaten?
Yes.
Or
As a matter of fact, it was just a few hours ago. My wife, Kelly, and I are on a tour bus this morning, sightseeing tour. The tour guide was amazing. And we went all the way outside the French Quarter. I mean, it was a French Quarter tour. We did that yesterday with a horse carriage. But this went into the Ninth Ward. We learned about Katrina. We saw all these sites, and this guy was very knowledgeable about the history. So anyway, at the end, we said, where can we go for lunch? We were in the Warehouse District, but we were pretty close to Bourbon Street. So he said, go to the Bourbon House, which is on Bourbon Street, just a block from Canal Street. And we went there. There's nobody there because it's like noon. We sat down at the oyster bar.
Everyone's still sleeping.
Everybody's still sleeping from last night. That's right. We sat down at the bar right in front of the guy shucking oysters, and I saw the biggest oysters I've ever seen in my life. Did I share the picture with you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we put that on our website, Carl?
Absolutely. I'll put those pictures up there.
So go to faithmiddleton.com and you'll see what he's talking about, because my head almost exploded when I saw them.
It's crazy. And so this is episode 24. So if you go to episode 24, you'll see the photos. So the oysters weren't the main attraction. The main attraction was something that I didn't take a picture of because I'm an idiot. Because I just wanted to dig in so bad. So it was these little crab claws that had the crab claw pincher attached. And so you got the second knuckle that was exposed.
Yeah.
But they were tiny. They were like an inch long.
Okay.
But in a pool of butter, garlic, lemon, parsley, that was just this thick sauce, which I tipped up and drank.
Right. Part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my God, they were so
good, huh?
Oh,
Love
Were
that.
they just a vehicle for that yummy sauce, or was there actually?
No, the flavor was throughout.
Sometimes it's magic, right?
The sauce was obviously made from a crab stock where they took the shells and then cooked them down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they added the butter and there must have been a little tomato in there because it was a rich orange color.
Heaven.
and this was
Yeah.
called Bourbon House.
Bourbon
in New
House.
Orleans. Yeah.
All right.
Bourbon
Wow.
Street.
Okay. So
Awesome.
how about from your past? You want to do one from the past?
Sure, yeah.
where-
Also New Orleans. And I I began to tell this story and Faith said, hey, save it for the show. So I will. I don't know the details. All I know it was 94. And I was here at a Microsoft conference, a TechEd, I think it was. And with a guy that I later started a website with in 94 for Visual Basic Programmers, Gary Wisniewski. So we went to this place in New Orleans for dinner. I can't remember where it was because I was not paying attention because I'm stupid. And I can't remember the name of the dish, but I know kind of what it was. It didn't have a traditional name like, New Orleans name like gumbo or jambalaya or anything like that. But it was a creamy seafood buttery sauce with all kinds of seafood in it. And it wasn't an etouffee either. It was, I don't know what it was, but it was like a French butter-based seafood dish that we all took bites of each other's food, and everybody agreed that was the best dish at the table.
Did it have rice in it?
Yeah, I don't remember. I maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Seafood buttercream. All right.
Yeah, just
I'll go for it.
there's probably some brandy in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My mouth is watering.
Yeah,
do you think there'd be Old Bay in that?
I imagine
It
there
might
was.
be. I
Old
don't know.
Bay seasoning, you think?
I love Old Bay.
Yeah.
Or
Wow.
some
But
sort of
anyway-
Creole spice.
We're at this Airbnb that I found, and it's chef owned. And the guy said that he would cook for us if we wanted. It was an extra charge.
I hope he took
So he
him up
said,
on it.
yes.
Yeah,
Now, Kelly wanted to come because she's a fan of NCIS New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, if I just told her we're going to New Orleans, the beignets wouldn't be enough to get her to come. But she loved that series, and and so she's having a great time. But anyway, the chef,
I did too.
Chef Tiger is his nickname. He cooked
Cool name.
for us a ribeye steak, which he cooked entirely in a hot skillet in butter.
Nice.
Like he didn't put it in the oven. He just seared
Love
the
it.
heck out of it in butter till it got crispy, and ghee actually.
Yeah.
And then
All
let
right.
it rest. And that's it. And it was
Heaven.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
She got fried shrimp, and she was in heaven too. But this place has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a big courtyard, and we're just having time of our lives.
Love Airbnb.
Good stuff.
So what I will do is I will share the this Airbnb on the website, on the link of
Okay.
it. It's just a house. It doesn't have a name. It has an address, but what you can book it on Airbnb.
Great.
Next
Okay.
time I go.
We had
Yeah.
so we're gonna we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to Joanne Church to see what has stuck in her brain for years and years and years, unless it was something she just had yesterday, like Carl. Okay, and we'll be right back. We're at faithmiddleton.com, and this is the Food Schmooze Party, the new editions of the show. All my buddies are here, the gang, and Bon Bon, my dog, is curled up in the bed right here. And so we're talking about those things that just stay in your brain. It's like a permanent slideshow because it tasted and smelled so, so delicious. You know, scientists have taught me that taste and smell are completely interlinked. And if you can't smell, you're not going to be able to taste either. So that's why I put it that way. Okay, so here we go. Joanne Church, what would you say one of yours is?
Well, after the artichokes in Rome, you go to Florence for pizza, Augusta Pizza.
So it's spelled how? G-U-S-T-A?
It's G-U-S-T-A.
Okay.
Pizza. And it's very popular, and I think they said it's one of the top 5 pizza restaurants in the world. And there's always a line. So we're staying outside of Florence, took a bus in. We're going to be the first people in line, went to a bar across the street, and they immediately give you an Aperol Spritz. So you're going to drink the Aperol Spritz before you order your drink.
It's sort of a welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and you're allowed to drink in the street. So we got our Aperol Spritz in a paper cup, got in line, met some great people in line. And this pizza, why we went, they will do a heart-shaped pizza. So that was it's just so beautiful. And of course, the freshest ingredients, which is pretty standard for Italy. And we ordered spinach, cherry tomato, and shaved parm. And when I say shaved parm, it's like big hunks of delicious parm on top.
Yeah. Nice.
And the crust is crispy, which I love. I mean, there will be a picture of it. It's almost like a little charred. And then the inside is just warm, light, delicious dough. And you could only buy bottles of wine, which wasn't a problem. So we bought a bottle of red wine. And once again, they serve, it's only plastic cups. So you think like, oh, that makes sense. So you don't have to clean all the cups. No, you take it out in the street. If you didn't finish your bottle, just take it out in the street. Wow. So it was really fun. We shared a table with a woman who was traveling with her granddaughter. And because you could only buy a bottle of wine, she wasn't drinking wine, but staring at ours like, so we gave her some wine. But the pizza, it was so beautiful and so delicious and just such a warm environment and just like fun standing in line, meeting people from all over.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's
really great. So, okay, here comes mine. I was just 2 very quick ones. Yeah. One, I was in Nice in France, and there was a restaurant that was just truffles. Only truffles. And so you had pasta with truffles and potatoes with truffles and, and they were just the most exquisite black truffles you ever had in your life. And so it was very expensive because truffles are expensive. And so, I was there with a friend, and so the people next door, these 2 men were sitting there, and they said, I kept staring at their plates because they had way more truffles than we did. Every dish, their table was covered with dishes. And I think I was staring at them so much that the men said, excuse me, in this kind of French accent, excuse me, you want to try some of our dishes? And I said, oh, no. I was so embarrassed. And he said, no, come on. So we ended up sharing that table. And that's not the only place that happened to me.
Nice.
People very much in Europe will say, come on, have some. If you inquire and say, well, what is that? Or what are you having? Please have some of this with us, which is really a wonderful thing. So there's that. Then my other dish was in Italy, in Sicily. And there was a pretty fancy hotel that had the whole inside was all like stone, rounded walls. It was just gorgeous. very, very accomplished chef in this place. And the one dish that I will never get out of my mind was an egg that had been taken out of its shell, cooked, and so that it was a little bit runny but not gushy. And he had poured this incredible truffle sauce over the top of it. And so
I'm melting.
it was. I even have a picture of it on my phone still. I just look at it sometimes.
It's like your wallpaper.
Oh, wow.
Eggs and truffles are so meant for each other,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Oh,
I learned a trick from my Australian friend where he says you can put eggs in with a little piece of truffle.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah, totally.
You take
We
a
do it
little
all the
piece and
time.
you put it in a Tupperware.
Yep, and
And
close
you
it and
don't-
put the truffle in there.
For only 3 days, though.
Yep.
If you and then you got to take it out because after
Yeah,
3
it's too
days it's
strong.
too much.
Yep.
But the truffle permeates the shell and gets into
Yep.
the egg. And then
Yep.
when you make scrambled eggs, you got truffled eggs.
Truffle eggs.
What?
Yeah.
Is that really
Oh, yeah,
true?
we do it all the time.
Did you ever
Whenever
try
we
it?
get truffles, we do it.
This is true. This sounds like a legend.
No,
This is
no,
good.
really
This
works.
is really.
Yeah, white truffles are better, but it works.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I got to try that.
Yeah.
Paragold truffles from Australia, and we did it together.
You know what the other trick too with truffles is? We store them in rice, in carnaroli rice or arborio rice. Right. So they store in there, so they keep them very dry. And
Yeah.
then when we're done using them, you end up with this, like, with us, it's like a half gallon of rice.
Wow.
And that permeates the rice. And then when you make risotto, you don't even have to shave truffles. The rice absorbs that truffle flavor. It's amazing.
Oh,
The
just
only-
like
man.
Wow.
The other thing that he made with those truffles is truffle ice cream
Ooh, I had that before.
Oh.
Yep.
using the truffle eggs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So unbelievable.
That's a magic
Wow.
food, right? Truffle.
It's a magic
It's
food.
a magic
yeah.
food.
Wait a minute.
Really?
Who is
That's
this?
one of the
Was this
magic
at Bourbon House, Carl?
No,
That
no,
he
no.
did
This is my friend Richard Morris from Two Keto Dudes when he
Oh.
came for Keto Fest. He
Oh,
brought
yeah,
some truffles and
Okay.
Nice.
we made them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is really fun. So we encourage you. Hey, listen, I have mailed orders to New Orleans, and had them ship me things that I have read about in different magazines that it's
Right.
supposed to sound so incredible. Like that muffaletta sandwich, Mark, that we
Oh,
were talking
yeah.
about earlier. It was, it's to you within 24 hours, and it was so unbelievable. So have your friends over and chip in and order the
Yeah.
muffaletta sandwich is the size of a basketball.
Have it.
It's really incredible. Okay. Well, this was really fun. We're
Yeah.
gonna be back next week
I
as
could keep
always.
on this subject for hours.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Travel and food.
Yeah.
You got another one, Mark?
Oh man, I got 3 or 4, but one that comes to mind immediately is a little town in Spain called Segovia,
Yeah.
and they're known for suckling pig,
Oh, yeah.
and they cook it in a little terracotta plate. And this one location that's just on, as you come into downtown Segovia, right by the aqueducts, the Roman aqueducts there, it's right on the point, and the restaurant's always busy. And I've been there probably 3 or 4 times with myself, with business, and then also taking family and friends back there. And they come out with this suckling pig, and it is so tender that they actually use an appetizer plate and cut it at the table with you,
Oh.
With the plate.
with an appetizer plate.
That's so
And
cool.
it breaks
Wow.
up into 4 sections, and everybody gets a piece.
That's so cool.
And the skin is crispy, and the
Oh,
meat
my
is so
God.
delicate
Man.
and delicious.
You're speaking my language,
Oh,
senor.
it's so good.
I think maybe you have won the contest today, Mark.
I think so.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Mark wins. What was the name of that restaurant? Do you remember?
I could probably Google it and pull it up. Yeah, I don't
Okay, yeah.
know off the top of my head, but I'll Google
right.
it and I'll pull it up because it's there.
I've been to Barcelona twice, and the best thing I ate there was I told you about the best bite I ate, but it's the ham, the jamon iberico.
Yeah.
The Iberico
Yeah.
ham is
Again,
amazing.
magic. That's another magic food.
If we
Yeah.
ever have a party
Yeah.
where we all get together, and I don't mean if, I mean when.
Yep.
I'm going to order one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about $500, and it comes with a stand.
Yep.
It doesn't come with
You
a
don't even
a
need the stand.
professional-
I got the stand and the knife.
See?
You
Look at
just
that.
need to order the ham.
Yep.
Do you know how to cut those? Because
I
Oh,
do.
right here.
And Chris does too.
yeah.
Okay. That's a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
The only problem is
Okay.
you eat way too much of it. when
Of
you have-
course, but that's okay.
It's really worth it, though.
We'll have to
temporary
invite
problem.
friends. We have to invite friends.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
lots of them.
And lots of red wine. Lots
Yes.
of real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$100 a ticket.
Wonderful.
All right,
Yeah.
my friends.
Oh, this
We're
was
gonna.
great.
This really was fun. We're going to see you all soon. On behalf of Joanne Church and Chris Prosperi, Mark Raymond, and Carl Franklin, we're happy to be with you at faithmiddleton.com.
Bye-bye.
Bye.